Okay, so recently I posted a video talking about how I don't care that people say I trace, because I do. I trace myself and I use it for popular content. And I got some interesting comments, namely these three. Also, just a reminder not to send hate to anyone. It's very evident that some people don't really understand what I'm trying to say or may just have a lower IQ at the moment. But we're going to nevertheless consider these comments so I can use this as a learning opportunity. First is this one. The next is these two right here. You can pause to read. But this has led me to believe that I should probably explain how, first, this has made my art look so much better, and secondly, how this actually is a good method to learn anatomy if you know what to look for, and I'm going to show you what to look for. I'm not a professional, but let me just show you what I mean. In my series where I use myself to draw, this was my first ever drawing that I did. This was it. And then this is like some of the types of anatomy that I did around this time. And then this was my next drawing, which I would say looks considerably better. Same with this one. And then this is the latest one of these that I've done. As you can see, this looks way much better than the monstrosity that is this. I didn't even draw the scar. And to further prove my point, this is my anatomy now. I have not used any sort of tracing to do this drawing. I did have to look at a reference, but like there was no tracing involved. But in tracing myself, I've learned to kind of figure out what I need to look for in other references that I may not be tracing to improve my art. As you can see, this was done pretty recently. You can see the date right there. Sorry, I probably just blinded you. But yeah, so let's move on. So we're going to use this lovely drawing of katana to sort of break down what I'm looking at and what I'm looking for when I use it myself as a reference, and how that can help me in later drawings and help me to improve my anatomy. Because I think sometimes people don't really know what to look for when they use themselves or when they're tracing, and it can be beneficial, but you just have to know what to look for. So let's begin. First, what I'm going to do is we're going to look at the original photo, which is me posing, by the way. Gotta take credit because it's an awesome pose. It is. So, here we go. There I am. There's me posing. So, I'm going to have to multitask by holding my phone and also drawing what I look for in these. 1 second. Alright, so I'm going to be drawing over myself, but hopefully you shall get the idea. So basically, when I am using myself as a reference, things I look for are things like joints. Alright, so here you can see I've circled them. Looking at the joints really helped me because sometimes I would have an issue where I would draw legs and arms and they just have a lot of unnecessary bends, but tracing myself over and over again has kind of burned into my brain that, hey, this is where a joint is, this is how it's supposed to bend, it maybe shouldn't bend the other way, and now you know where it is. It's also helped me to understand proportions and also like where the bone is versus the muscle. So like right here would be a bone, here would be a bone. And here would be a bone too, but that's not really important. The muscle part would be like right here, here, here. And there's not much muscle right here, but it's pretty thin. There's a lot more tendons. But like studying my arms and tracing over them has really helped me up my game when it comes to drawing muscle. And if you know anything about my content, a lot of it revolves around muscle, so I better get good at drawing it. It's also helped me with head placement and just kind of understanding the shape of the head. Because I used to just draw heads and then act like there was no back to them. But now I understand you have to have room for a brain, which some of y'all don't have. That's okay. We're all learning, the jaw, the forehead, things like that. So that's another thing that I look for when I'm using myself as a reference. This is sort of related to what I was saying about the joints, but just using dynamic poses has also helped me to understand which way is natural for the body to bend. Granted, I am very flexible, so the ways that I bend sometimes are just not relevant to other types of humans, but that's okay. But yeah, so I think a prime example for me would be sort of this area right here. I guess the torso you can't really see, but sometimes I draw the torso arching too much, sometimes arching not enough. It would look really stiff, and tracing over myself has kind of helped me to understand that, hey, the torso bends, maybe not that much and maybe not that little, but it needs to be loose enough to look natural. That's another thing that tracing has helped. You can't really see it right here, but I guess I could say learning where the spine is. It's also helped me understand that like humans in general have bilateral symmetry. We're not, of course, symmetrical down to like exact measurements or anything, but in general, we have bilateral symmetry. And so learning how to kind of draw that guideline that'll sort of guide where the line of symmetry would fall, also extremely helpful. This picture of All Might is actually a really, really good example. Again, here's me as the reference photo. There's that line of symmetry right down the middle. And tracing has really helped me to understand that. So as you can see, tracing can indeed be quite helpful. It helped me to improve. But if this was long and you didn't quite get what I was saying, all that I'm saying is tracing can be good. And it helps you kind of learn what to look for in references. For me, it helped me to learn how the body's supposed to bend, where joints are. Oh, and I forgot to mention like proportions, which I think is pretty self-explanatory. I think everyone understands what proportions are. My proportions got way better. And also understanding that humans have bilateral symmetry and where that line of symmetry will fall. And that has greatly improved my art. That all being said, I rest my case that tracing can in fact help. Remember to get your references ethically, and you're always free to use yourself, duh, is you. But if you're getting it from someone else, make sure you ask permission. Don't trace over other people's artwork. But I just really wanted to use this as a learning experience. The other people's comments didn't bother me because I'm not making money from this. So like, please comment. But yeah, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, all that good stuff. Honestly, I don't even have to ask y'all at this point. I get 10,000 followers a week. It won't last forever, but I am riding that wave of success, baby. So anyways, with that being said, have a great day. I hope this was helpful. This is like a shorter version of another video I did. But yeah, have a great day.